messing with Deer Hunter TV. Today's December 9th. It's a lot less windy than yesterday. Yesterday was super windy with the wind chill. It was probably 0 or less. Just little gusts of 5 miles an hour today, and it's 40 degrees. So it's a big jump, and it's going to get cold overnight and tomorrow and start to snow. So with any luck, after a long gun season in New York, we're back to the late season bow and muzzleloader. I elected to use a bow because the odds of me getting over a 30-yard shot in here is slim to none anyways. Got one spot, 2 spots where I can shoot like 50. So I'm with the bow, and that's based off of some heavy trail cam work I've done in here. And this was a super slamming spot during the rut, but the rut is long gone. And without snow on the ground, deer can eat whatever they want still in the woods. And these cut cornfields like I'm hunting here aren't as appealing. Once there's snow on the ground, man, they're golden. But when there's not snow, you can't make snow. So basically, you're in for some long, slow hunts this time of year, and that's just how it is. I had a fan email me a couple weeks back, and I apologize for taking so long to get to it, but he asked me, how do I pick tree stand placement when I hunt big woodlots? Now, like today, I'm by a food source, so I'm not going to count today. But if you remember back to a doe that I shot earlier in the year. Meh. It was a morning hunt, and it was back in a big, huge woodlot. Not a field anywhere close. It's a big woodlot. And I think it was my 3rd time in there, 3rd set in there, and I used the other 2 times kind of the scout. And that's really what I do, is I'll go into a big woodlot. I usually don't run trail cams in big woodlots because you're not going to get many pictures, and usually I don't use trail cams to decide where to hunt. I use trail cams to see what I'm hunting, and then I can make a move based off of if I'm getting them just before daylight or just after dark. So, but anyways, I'll go into a woodlot, find a spot that looks promising, maybe some scrapes, some grubs, a trail, a good beat down trail, sit close to it, sit there for a couple days. You're gonna see what needs to be done, and then you can move if you have to. And that's why I love climbers, climbing tree stands. Keep you mobile, keep you versatile, keep you tactical. You can change your tactics and strategy from one hunt to the next. Deer never know where you're going to be. You would be amazed how much easier it is to hunt a deer that doesn't know it's being hunted rather than a deer that knows it's being hunted. And I'm sure you've had some experience with it. But I can't count how many times I've killed deer in my first or second sit when hunting a new spot, and I think it's simply because the deer aren't used to being hunted. So use that strategy. I hope it helps. Leave a comment on the Facebook page if someone has something different, and I'll talk about it. But I'm gonna sit here for the rest of the evening. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of nice. It's like 42 degrees. I'm actually a little warm instead of freezing. So, if we see anything or not, it's going to be a good night.
Friday, November 7th. And I sat back here this morning, seen a couple of does. Wasn't really too hopping. I figured with the rut kicking off here, it should be starting to get good, but activity really hasn't picked up the way I thought it has.
Second, lunchtime, my way out of the woods this morning, grabbed some trail camera cards, and not too much activity on them. The weather's been crazy lately, quite a bit of snow, and that really picked up the traffic in the food plot. If you recall back, I ended up planting about 2 acre food plot or so from Sinclairville seed. We've got clover out there, and some brassicas, turnips and radishes and soybeans, so we got a whole smorgasbord out there for them. And they hit it hard in the early season, and so it didn't get as tall as it did last year, but I think there's more deer that found it, more deer that used it. So healthy herd, you know, that's the main thing anyway. So for trail cams, been seeing this deer here. See if we can find another picture of him. Had a couple encounters with this one here, and once was with James. It was coming through following a doe, just came through too quick. Never even drew back. It was just coming through too quickly, so really got my heart racing. And seen him one more time. Actually kicked him when I was going back into the stand after lunchtime, and I think the next morning, or maybe a day or two after that, the neighbor ended up getting him. So you know, on one hand happy for him, on the other hand really frustrated. The deer you're after for a while, they're no longer out there. But there is another one out there now that's showing up. There's actually 2. This first one here, looks like he was pretty wide. He broke off that side earlier in the season. There's another buck that's all busted up, so you know, maybe they have some gladiator fights out there. But calling him 50 cents, F-I-T-T-Y, 50 cents, half a rack, half a buck, 50 cents. Get it? Joke. And the other one is this one here. He's pretty good. Really long brow tines. Everything comes to a real sharp point, real identifiable if he ever does show up. I've never seen him in the woods though. It's only been on trail cameras. And I think later in the season I might bring the bow out again. Got new strings on it this year from Vapor Trail. And arrow rest, the Pro V drop away from there. And Rob from Outback Archery hooked me up, tuned it up really well. Even, you know, it was shooting pretty good before, but you take it to him and it's right on. So I strongly suggest, even if you're not in the area, you get in contact with Outback Archery. They do a really thorough job.
And the doe stands never let me down just to get a doe out of the way. Once in a while we'll see a good buck. Now during the rut, this is a good stand. But you know, this time of the year, you just want to take a doe and not mess up the property. You know, only stand I've got set up for a north wind, and they come out of this big bottom down here and then come on up into the field up here to the farmer's place here. The field right behind you, just to give you an example, the other night I came down through here and filmed 40 does out in this 40-acre field. So, you know, that was one of the things that the farmer wanted me to, wanted me to do here in order to hunt here was take some does. So if you want to stay in good graces with your property owners and stay in good graces with your property owners and let them keep hunting, go ahead and fill your doe tags. We get 2 doe tags here in Arkansas. In fact, you can kill 4 does if you want to. So sometimes if we don't get on a good buck, that's what we'll do. We'll fill our doe tags over here.
DeerHunterFan.com TV is sponsored by Buck Yeah, Gold Tip, Insane Archery, Ridge Runners Guide Service, Spy Point, Longhorn Fab Shop, Muddy Outdoors, Ohio Trophy Buck Outfitters, Strutters, Vapor Trail, and also by these fine sponsors.